For people who grew up in an environment where love and tension are unstable, where they have been abused, neglected, or abandoned, we've gone through deep loneliness, insecurity, and emotional starvation. Oversharing can be a really big trauma response for us, driven by this deep longing and deep desire to be connected, to be seen and accepted. Before we realize it, we're already halfway through, spilling out every major detail of our personal life. Our trauma brain wires us to rush into relationships. We are made blind to boundaries. We're made blind to read social cues, to assess, well, if this situation is right for us, if this person is trustworthy for us, if this person is safe enough for us to open up, or if this is the right time to do so. This would end up easily burdening people, scaring people away, or making this relationship really uncomfortable, and not to mention those people who intentionally would see through our vulnerabilities and take advantage of that. If that is you, I totally relate to you and I feel you. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Ran. I have been struggling with mental health issues ever since I was a teenager, and I've been working through these issues with a psychotherapist for 4 years now. In this channel, I will show you how to create a secure relationship with yourself and heal your relationship with the world that are full of fear, shame, and anxiety. So in this video, you will see two parts. The first part is about oversharing and early sharing in relationships, and second part is a lot of people might be really interesting is oversharing on social media and what's the mechanism behind it. So let's jump right into it. If we grew up emotionally starved, then we're trained very well in being hyper-vigilant, being hyper-focused, and hyper-oriented towards any signals of connection. When we sense a signal that someone might be open to listen to us, to spend a little bit more time with us, we pour our heart and soul into that relationship. We just wanted to desperately grab on and hold on and cling to that person and spill everything, like every story we've read, everything we've done, and every major detail of our personal life, so that we could be, having this experience of emerged with that person. Most of the time, things just slip out from our mouth without us being aware of it. There's kind of urgency to spell out everything, right? Before we realize it, we have already dominated this conversation. We have maybe already been too vulnerable and revealed too much. Then we feel very embarrassed. We try to hold back a little bit. We try to apologize, which makes the person even feel more uncomfortable. But I don't want any one of you to feel embarrassed by this behavior, because in our defense, things have been difficult. People aren't stable in our lives. Maybe we have never had a stable relationship. We have never experienced the joy and nourishment from healthy relationships where we are seen and accepted for who we are. So we just long for it. We just long, like a dry land longing for a little bit raindrop. So if the opportunity shows up, of course we're gonna grab it. Of course we're not gonna let it slip away. And our consistent, our incessant desire to connect, to grab people, to cling to people is our exact attempt to try to connect to our parents or caregivers or people who we wanted to attach to desperately when we were growing up. So the need is not going away. The need was unmet. Accumulated over the years, we become more conditioned to seek relationships. We become more conditioned to be in our head instead of being in the present with that person. We are in our head, preoccupied and busy with thoughts, how they think about us. Oh, maybe I should tell her this to show that I'm fun to hang out with. Maybe I should do this to show them that I'm actually pretty charming. When we have those thoughts, when we're preoccupied, when we're in our head, when we're trapped in our thoughts, real connections could not be created, because we are seeing this person through the lens, through the imagination, through the desire of ourselves. That makes it really difficult to assess the situation, to respond accordingly, and have opinions in a very objective way. Bear in mind, no matter how much our instinct tells us to rush, tell us to grab this chance or we'll miss it, give it time. We allow ourselves to plant that seed and give it time to grow. Real and genuine relationships need this give and take, need time to develop trust and good intentions from both sides. We need good boundaries, good, well-defined sense of self to have a mutually equal and reciprocal relationship. Let's talk about oversharing on social media. Actually, more and more people are getting very active on social media, and they post about like every detail of their personal life. Like, well, look, I just drank a smoothie, I just worked out, I just walked my dog, I just met a friend, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes several posts a day. This is like a continuum, so it's hard to define what's oversharing and what's undersharing or appropriate sharing. And the way I define it is from motivation. If we simply wanted to share the happy moments, to memorize it, just to share it with people that we care about and love, what we're doing to create a sense of connection, that's normal, I would say. But most people who overshare on social media is not like that. They actually wanted to prove something. They wanted to gain approval and validation from people. They wanted to create an image. They wanted to be seen as having or possessing certain qualities. They wanted to be someone that people are jealous of, some people are envious of. They wanted to create an image through someone else's eyes so that they could feel good about themselves because they're unsure about their value or who they are. You know how that reminds me of, when babies, we do certain things, well, we have to constantly check if mommy is around. We do this and then we call mommy like, well, look at me, I'm doing this, look at me, I'm walking, look at me, I drew this, blah, blah, blah. And that's how babies are trying to develop a sense of self through the eyes of the mom, of the caregiver, right? And I would see those adults as doing the same thing as well. Like, I did this, I did that, I accomplished this. They're trying to make up for the missed mirroring and attunement from childhood that they never got, because they never finished the job of having a complete or defined sense of self, and that's what they're seeking right now to make up for. That's why a lot of people may act out, make big scenes, go dramatic, draw attention. Doesn't matter if it's even bad attention. It's attention, it counts, right? If we grew up healthily attached, then we wouldn't have much of a need to constantly prove to people, to need validation. We would be self-sufficient in safely exploring the world, safely developing skills, and building who we are, instead of constantly needing attention, needing connection to feel secure about who we are, because that is actually hindering our secure exploration of the world, right? We're still making up what we missed. We're not actually being in adult life. If you find this helpful, I have a playlist explaining the psychology behind various situations and various things in our life, and you can check it out. I hope this video is helpful. Alright, see you next time. Bye bye.